Hope you all are doing well. It is Sunday Night Live. It's a little late this week. I've been busy being volleyball dad and gymnastics dad and a little bit of everything else, but we're here. Dan is back home in the studio. Long road trip. How was that?
Oh, it's fantastic. Now that my daughter does not completely lose her cool in the car, it makes things much easier to drive. So yeah, we had a nice time in Michigan, but it's good to be back. And now that we're what is it, like 40-something days out from the draft?
Stop it.
It is it's go time.
It is go time. Along those lines tonight, folks, I do want to let you know it's out. Matrix V1 is available right now. If you pre-ordered, you should get a message from the system. If not, I'm going to re-email everyone the link tonight and hopefully to get that out. Anybody, go jump in there. There's a new code. You guys get it locked on, not locked on. That's the other show. RGR23 will get you a nice count on it now that it's out. So go get it at rogueapc.com. I'll put the address up here. Bada boom. It's not pre-order anymore. That sucker's live. So we are ready to roll. I hope that you guys are into it. And you'll get some things like this come the draft guide. I just did the quick Matrix profile here for Tommy. We'll probably talk about him tonight. Probably. Tonight is your show. Just like tomorrow night is your show. This is your mock draft. We're going to go through the process. I'm going to make some imperatives, and we'll kind of work around that. And you guys are going to vote in the chat live on what we're going to do to build this roster out of this draft. So, Dan, first and foremost, while I'm setting all that up, what was your reaction to Tranquil in particular?
I like what they're doing. And I think that we can at least understand what they want to do in the draft. They went ahead and they added depth pieces at defensive line, at linebacker, and at safety, which tells you that they are trying to get probably a starting defensive end, maybe a tackle, and then go all in on offense. That feels like what they're trying to do with not addressing wide receiver yet, with bringing in Taylor, but you still have flexibility at tackle, possibly, drafting another tight end. They have a lot of different things that you can do, but Tranquil, in my personal opinion, needs to be getting some green dot looks this offseason because he needs to be out there in dime packages. And honestly, probably over Nick Bolton in a lot of obvious passing situations when they're in nickel. Him and Willie Gay need to be the two coverage linebackers on the field. He's just better at it. And we're going to kind of see how it's going, but getting all the guys out there that you need and that can be in good spots for obvious passing situations is going to make the most difference. And we're seeing kind of this shift to defense by committee, not just like your starters, but having guys for the right situations. And Spags, I think, is starting to adapt to that right now. And we're seeing that right now with this offseason.
I agree. And I think you nailed it on the head right out the gate. It is the versatility that really is playing into this. So they can do what they need to do and adapt to what they're seeing. I personally would like to see some three-man fronts as well, where maybe you have two backers on the field. Maybe you can still roll dime that way. I like some of the configurations that you can get away with. It's tricky, but it's fun, and I like that. Guys, we're going to get to some of your questions tonight, ladies as well. But remember, tomorrow night is the Q&A. That's your question show. Tonight, we're going to do this mock draft live, and you guys are going to vote on all the decisions. You're going to make them, actually. So bear with us. We're going to get rolling so we don't take too long. I'm trying to keep this at an hour, and we'll answer your questions as we go. In fact, Dan, I am rolling around to this thought, much like you were, that there are some things that need to change in what we're expecting of this team. And so for me, I've gotten to the point now where after the Tunsil contract, there aren't any more options as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
They got to do something. They got to go up. So I want to make a trade before we even start this draft. That's kind of where I'm at. Are you good with that?
Oh yeah, let's go. We got to go all in. And that's how you got to go all in.
So I've done some experimenting in between events today. I was running some mock drafts. And so the target for me has become this, trying to get one of these teams in the early teens to pull the trigger. And New England was playing nicely with me before, but it was taking multiple picks. And right now it doesn't even seem like they want to talk. 60% if we give them a second next year. And so that brought me back to the Mahomes trade. Mahomes trade was the last time they went from 27 to 10. So 17 spots. Right here, I'm talking about 17 spots. It cost them their one, obviously, which was 27 at the time. their third, and next year's one. So obviously, we don't want to go at the value of the quarterback, but is a two too rich for you here if we're getting either edge or offensive tackle?
I mean, for me at least, it depends on who's on the board, and the Chiefs would have the benefit of knowing that. We don't right now get that benefit of knowing unless we start it.
Right.
So
Let's roll the 10 then.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's see what we got, because I want to see who's there.
Okay, so this is what scares me. The Bears are consistently looking at tackle now, and that starts the avalanche. And so this is why I'm entertaining this. Young, Anderson, Wilson, Stroud, Carter Gonzalez, Anthony Richardson, Will Levis, Paris at number 9 to the Bears, and then Quentin Johnston. That's where it starts for me, and it's tough.
Well, I just want to get this out of there. Why are the Eagles taking Quentin Johnston? Why? Why? They have AJ Brown. This makes no sense. Like, this makes no sense. So there is that.
Dre, I saw this report too. I don't know if that's going to be real. I think in the end, it's going to be what it is. We'll see if that actually comes to fruition or not.
With Slayton coming back, I don't think that he's in the cards for the Giants anymore. They have Wan'Dale Robinson. They have their speed guy, their downfield speed guy, and Darius Slayton. I think they're going to probably end up drafting another one. It doesn't make much sense for them to bring in a guy like McCole Hardman when they kind of have what they're looking for at that spot.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you. All right, I'm going to throw in some sevenths here just because I want to get rid of them. So I started looking here, and despite the top 10 pick being a little bit strange, I feel we need to get up. And I'm not even sure that it's not for the offensive tackles here too. So how far up are we willing to go? And would you give up a 2 if it's to that point, knowing what the top 10 picks are?
I think right now I'd be more comfortable looking at it because you're going to get multiple opportunities to get either a tackle or a defensive end that I think the Chiefs need. So I'm okay giving up a second-round pick next year to get someone that you think is going to be here in Kansas City for a long period of time, is going to be starting for you for a long time.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. And I can roll with either one. I've seen a couple of options that are coming up. If we stay at 31, I'm not terribly juiced about any of them. So knowing that they're out on Tunsil, they still have a need in one of those positions. This is one that I pulled off earlier today with the Commanders, and that is swapping third, swapping first, and then giving them a second next year with a little bit of change. Do you think that's even worth it?
I'm not the best when it comes to like trade calculating stuff, but I do think that Washington's looking to build a roster out. They're going to be looking to get multiple different players, 7th round picks. I think they're going to be looking to do that too. So I think that if you're trying to get up that far, it makes sense if that's what you're trying to do. Like right there at the Detroit Lions at pick 18, that makes some sense. I think that they're going to probably stay where they're at because they do need some more options there. And I think, they're going to have a top 6 pick and then the 18. I think they might use that to go back up personally. But if you can work it to where you can get there with the Lions, that makes some sense to me.
Okay. It looks like they'll take this. It's iffy, but let's give it a shot and see what we get. And they didn't take it the first go. And this is me trying to get away with an extra third. It's basically what I'm trying to do. I'm greedy that way. So I'm going to try that until I don't have to be greedy. I'll even give you next year's 7th. I don't care. See if that doesn't change nothing. Okay, so let's fall down a bit. Kind of my last ditch has been today. These Seahawks that drive me nuts. They just drive me nuts. And so I think I could get it. I think I got one for a third, and I was able to get 83 back. No, it was 122 I got back. So moving up to 20. From 31 and moving from 95 back to 122, we're throwing in a third for next year, and we'll deal with that when we deal with that. That makes sense?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Let's pull the trigger and see what happens. Okay, So we've done that. We've moved up dramatically, and this might be more in the range of more of a McDuffie trade. So we'll roll with that, and we'll see what happens next as we roll through the picks. And I know that this thing goes fast, so JSN goes right after him. There goes Skoronski and Broderick back-to-back, just like we had feared. Lucas Van Ness, Miles Murphy comes off, then Joey Porter, Devin, Kalijah Cansey, I don't see any way in the world that this actually happens, but that's just me.
Yeah.
So we are on the clock at 20. And what does that leave us? Some offensive options and the fallback position at offensive tackle. And here's the question. The speed rusher and Nolan Smith at 20. What does that do for you?
I would do it in a heartbeat. Personally, I would do it because I think Nolan Smith is that legit of a player. And I think he would be the perfect complement to what the Chiefs want to do with the power at defensive end and the power they just added. Honestly, Omenwu was going to be a guy you're going to rotate in on third downs. So he's going to probably play more of a 3-tech next to Chris Jones on pass rush downs. If you get those two in there with
some speed,
what are we actually doing? You're actually creating a defensive line that can collapse a pocket and be off the edge.
That's where I'm
quickly, and that's what you're trying to do. So, I mean, I would not do it for the Chiefs if I'm the Chiefs because I know they're not going to take Nolan Smith. I also don't think he's going to be at 20. So that's where this comes into. You have to try to think about what they do. But again, if this is me personally, I'm taking Nolan Smith. But I want to see what the watchers and listeners are looking at here at this spot.
And this is what it comes down to, folks. This is the way that I've been doing it the last couple of times out, and this really works. So we're going to narrow it down to this, and I'm going to throw a little curveball at you. Nolan Smith or Anton Harrison at 20. Harrison, I will tell you, I don't think we should do because I think we can fall back and still get him. So the question becomes Nolan Smith, or do we trade back out of this and try to recoup some value? Maybe we get a couple of thirds, that kind of thing. So hit me in the chat right now. Do you want Nolan or do you want to trade back? That's what it's going to come down to. Brisset, I do not have him as a top 20 pick. I won't take him here.
I like Brisset, but I think I only have one defensive tackle, 1.5 as a first round grade, and I really like what he offers, but you don't really know where he's at mentally. You don't know where he's at physically coming into this year, so it's hard to invest a top 20 pick in him.
Smith, trade back, Zay, trade. Again, the options are Nolan Smith here at 20 or trade back. We have 6 offers on the table. I'll even show them to you guys. Let's take a look. The next one back would be going back to Dallas. I can dig with that. But I'm going to want at least your third, which they seem to be happy to do. And hey, hell, maybe I want your second too. I tell you what, I'll give you my second back. I'll move from 63 up to 58.
Okay.
And I'm going to want 169 too.
Okay.
Actually, I want 129.
Okay.
They say they'll go for it. So here's a haul. And this is desperation. This is what happens in the draft.
This is a good one. I like this.
Somebody has a target they really want, and it ups their level of commitment. So they're willing to give you a second, swap thirds, and give me my third back, which is actually higher than the Chiefs' original third, and then a fourth as well. I mean, that's a deal I can't say no to.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Let's see if they actually do it. Okay, boom. We're done.
Right.
Okay, so now we're going to turn this back on, let it roll. See what the next 6 picks happen to be. Brisset does go. That's who they were coming up for. More power to him. Good for you. Nolan does go 3 picks later. Branch comes off. Deonte Banks, interesting player. I do like him.
Tight ends back to back.
Yep. And that's okay because I think the fall off after those 2 is pretty significant. So now we're back on the clock at 26, folks. And now this is where I can feel better about taking Anton and knowing that we have additional picks coming. Now we have 26, 58, 90. Back-to-backs at 122 and 123, plus a 129. I'm digging this.
I like it. I think that's a really good spot to take some of these guys. Also, if you're thinking about grabbing a receiver that you're high on or, taking one of these guys probably ahead of consensus, because I'll be very honest with you, a guy like Zay Flowers, I know a lot of people are high on. I don't have a first-round grade on him.
I don't either. So you and I are there together on that one. Folks, yes, we are live. Make sure you like, sub, hit the bell right now. We're doing this together. You guys are voting at. We're going to give you an A or B scenario, and you're going to make the decision. Now, I won't take a running back, so that's not on the table. There's just no way. Even this is crazy. I've been seeing this all day. What? Tanner McKee, and I like Tanner. I'm a Tanner guy. I've been on him since last year.
Well, this is PFF, right? This is PFF.
It is. It is.
Okay, that makes more sense.
It is. Now there's some options there, but that ain't one of them. So it comes down to this: it's Anton Harrison. If you really wanted to go wide receiver, you would have to go Zay. Neither of us feel Zay is a first round player, so we're not going to include that. The other option here, and this is what I want to ask you, Dan, because I have Will McDonald below Felix on my board right now.
Me too.
Okay, So you and I agree. So let's make it the AB. So the Anton Harrison, the left tackle, allows Juwan Taylor to stay at right. The Chiefs have a pair of bookends that we feel we can go into the season with. Or is it Felix Ndwike Uzama, who has to play a wide 9? Absolute opposite of Nolan Smith. I don't think that he can be productive in the NFL inside. I think he's got to be outside the tackle, unlike Nolan. But you disagree?
I think he can play true defensive end. I don't think he has to be a wide 9 myself.
Okay, fair enough. But he's not a 4-eye. He's not a.
Oh no, yeah, okay, I understand what you're saying. I don't think Nolan Smith can play in there either. I think he could get bullied. But...
No, exactly.
So
I just mean that it's got to be outside, and he's not a speed rusher.
For sure.
Okay, so it looks like we got a lot of Antons. There's a couple of Felixes. Yeah, last call, folks. Vote in the chat, and if you're watching this on replay, leave your comments. Which of these options do you like? Obviously, you won't catch it live, but we're going to go with the majority rules, and it is Anton Harrison becoming the next Kansas City Chief. That gives them a left tackle. It leaves Juwan Taylor at right tackle. I think that actually is a good scenario because I think you get more help with Joe Tooney on the left. I think it lets Trey be Trey, and I think you can build something there. I like it. Now you're chuckling. Now we're back on the clock here at 58. What stands out to you?
Felix is still there,
right?
Your defensive end is right there. I don't think he'd be there if we didn't end up getting it back up to 58 here with the Cowboys. So, at least to me, this is a no-brainer. But we'll see what the people say.
My only hesitation is I have a better grade on Tommy right now, but Tommy is not a plug and play. I think Tommy is best as a 3-tech pass rush down type guy.
And I think the Chiefs just brought in their guy that can be what Tommy is in Menu. And that really kind of takes out what we're thinking here, because I think he's going to be more of a starting defensive end the first couple of weeks if they draft a guy like Felix, and then they're going to work him in. But on pass rush downs, I think he's going to slot in next to Chris Jones.
Well, right now he can't because they don't have another edge, right?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so this would allow that to happen with Felix outside, Menahue inside. Menahue rushed from the 3-tech a lot last season. I like that. Let's take a look at Tommy because I don't recall. One good thing that they're doing in this mock draft thing from PFF, they're giving you the alignment snaps, and I do like that. So you see this, folks, is we're getting 3 out. Or 3 to 5 here, and then you're getting outside the tackle reps. So it is a little bit more edge, but it's very, very close in terms of like split. That's like 60-40 at most.
Yeah.
So, and that's on Tommy. And I'm seeing votes. Good job. You guys are with the program now. Felix or Tommy Adewale. That's the vote right now. And it looks like Felix is ahead, but let's keep it rolling. Let's give a couple more seconds. We're going to take a question. Ready Whip asked, do you think that Veach is kind of going to force Andy's hand into playing rookie receivers, kind of like he did last year with Spags? I don't think Veach forced anybody to do anything. I do believe that the rookies playing on defense came from Spags.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, nobody gets to force Andy to do anything, in my opinion.
Never. Like you can kind of go to Spags and be like, hey, guess what? You've got some rookies. You're going to play them. You're not going to Andy with that, especially after he got you the job and he's basically in control. Like Andy's basically in control. So he's not doing that.
Okay, let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger because let's take a look. Everybody had a good question too. These are the receivers that are on the board. I do not have a first-round grade on Tank Dell. I am going to be really struggling to see even a second-round viable option for me. But we know he can move. It's just how do you fit him in with Kadarius and with Sky? I don't have a good answer for that.
That's the big problem the Chiefs are faced with right now is they have one X receiver. I'm going to put quotations around him because I don't qualify him as a full X receiver. Mm-hmm. Marquez is a downfield player who does not create separation. So they still need some of that, but you're trying to find those like 5'11", 6 foot plus guys that can move and create separation and can block. All those things that Andy Reid wants. If you get Sky Moore and Kadarius Toney, and then you add like a guy like Tank Dell, those are 3 receivers that are like, I know Kadarius is 6 foot, but they're all smaller players.
Right. So, they're sharing time and role, right? Okay. So let's see. We answered Reddy's question. Good question, Eddie. Okay. Reddy, I'm sorry. So I think that solves the problem with this. It looks like the votes are all over Felix. So we're going to go with Felix, and we're going to bring him in. And I do feel in the second round at 58, I think he's got the upside to match that pick. I don't think that's a reach. Is it still a projection? Yes, but I don't think it's a reach.
Yeah.
So I'm comfortable with that. And as you see here, it looks like Tank Dell's fallen quite a bit. So he's on the board again, but we've had that discussion at this point. So I come back to what are the other options here at 90?
Yeah.
And that comes down to Michael Wilson, who I don't think is quite explosive enough for this offense for what Andy wants. I think he's a solid receiver, but I don't know that he fits well with what they're going to ask him to do. There's A.T. Perry. You guys know how I feel about him. There's the second tier edges. I'm fine for double dipping there at 90,
all right,
by
so
the way.
Do you mind if I take over for a little quick here? Pull up the receivers.
Please. Yes, sir.
All right, guys. I know that receivers coming in at some point. All right. I'll be very honest with you. You're going to be the first to hear this because I haven't told anybody else this. I've been reworking my wide receiver rankings ever since I started watching more film. And Jaden Reed has a solid second round grade from me. Solid. Like he's going to break into my top 6 receivers in this class. I believe that you can play him anywhere. And I watched him 5 games play anywhere. He plays out wide. He plays in the slot. He plays at the Z. He blocks. He's not the best blocker, but he's a little slight in terms of his body build. He's 5'11", 190-ish. But he's willing to do all of those things. He's a very willing player. I'm just saying Andy Reid would have a lot of fun with this guy. I really do. I think that he's somebody that you can do a lot of things around. I know that that's more controversial in terms of right now, but that's my opinion. I think Jaden Reed's the best receiver on the board, period.
Okay, but the only problem is it falls in the same category, I think, is he's under 6 foot. He's right there with Kadarius and Sky, so he had the same kind of issue.
He doesn't get bullied and pressed, though. Like Tank Dell's going to get bullied and pressed. Jaden Reed doesn't get bullied and pressed.
I do agree with you on both those counts, but again, is there enough reps to go around there to make it viable? That's my question.
I personally, based off of the tape that I've been watching, I believe he's good enough to be playing. But again, this isn't mine. It's not what I would do.
Well,
what you guys would do.
Let's make Jaden Reed one of the options here, folks. Let's say that we're gonna take a weapon, and you guys know how I feel about A.T. Perry. He's my guy. Jaden is Dan's guy. Who do you got? Hit that. There's a couple of Perrys in there. There's a Reed. Who else y'all got? Everybody vote in the chat.
Also like A.T. Perry, by the way. I like A.T. Perry.
I know. And honestly, I think this mock machine, and I think generally evaluators are coming around on the fact that Tillman is a mid-third at the latest kind of guy.
Yeah.
Basically where we've had him for a while. So that's why I'm not mentioning him. Yeah. That's what I was highlighting. That's why we're not talking about him, folks.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I can't take him at 63. I'm not quite comfortable with that, but he ain't going to be there in the 90s. Yeah. So we're just taking him out of there. Thoughts on Parker Washington? Good question, Sugary. I haven't done a ton of tape. Have you, Dan?
I mean, I've watched a lot of Penn State over the last couple of years. He's smaller. Again, a slight build. He's not Jahan Dotson. You know, I think a lot of people think that he can be Jahan Dotson, but he's really more of a slot receiver and 85 snaps out wide, 215 in the slot. He just, and you can go back further.
This is the other concern for me. Watch this progression.
Yeah. When he became the guy granted, Sean Clifford's a terrible quarterback. He's an awful quarterback.
That is true.
He's so terrible. But Jahan Dotson was still able to produce really well with Sean Clifford at quarterback. So Parker Washington's a guy that I'm going to have a day 3 grade on. I don't think he's going to be taken in the first 2 days. If he is, be back into the third for me. But I don't think he's on par with the guys that we've mentioned and we've talked about.
Someone asked what the trade value is. Giving 90 to go back to 93. I'm demanding 114.
No, you're not going to get it.
But I'll give you 123. Or I'll give you 129. Or I'll give you 134. Okay, so I'll swap you and I'll move up 20 on the back end of that. Okay. What do you think?
I'm good with that personally.
Yeah? Okay. So we're going to make some ground up here. We're inching closer to having four top 100s. Let's see what they do. They did it. Okay, great.
Right.
Who are they taking? Who did they take? They went after and with our trade selected Tank Bigsby. You're welcome to him. Well done. Chris Smith does go to the Bengals. I do like Chris Smith. I'm just having trouble wrapping my head around his testing because he's faster on film, and it just bugs me.
Yeah.
So we're back to the same situation. Here.
I think this is the place we take A.T. Perry.
Okay.
I've already seen a ton of it in the
chat.
In the chat. So if you guys love Perry, it looks like that might be the pick for the Chiefs here.
All right. And Dan and I do. I'm not trying to claim him as solely mine. Dan does like his. Film.
I like A.T. Perry.
And Seth, that's interesting. It's the salary that is the problem with D-Hop. I do expect that he's going to get released. I don't think they're going to pull it off. That's just me.
Yeah, let me just pitch you guys a scenario that A.T. Perry is selected in the 3rd round by the Chiefs. He is 6'5", but he can create separation. You know, D-Hop isn't the fastest guy in the world. A.T. Perry's not the fastest guy in the world. And he can do some things. All right. He can play out wide. He can go get the football. He can create separation. He's not going to blow you away in speed. So would you rather have a guy who's going to cost a lot? If you're talking about a 3rd round pick, I'm not giving up a 3rd round pick for D-Hop after Brandon Cooks netted a 5th and a 6th or a 6th and a 7th, whichever it was. I think Brandon Cooks at this point in his career might be on par in terms of value as D-Hop. So I'm not giving the 3rd round pick for DeAndre Hopkins myself.
Okay. So we have Perry. I'm just going to review here real quick as we go through this. We have Felix to rush off the edge. Now, he is going to take some time to develop, but you have a Menahue for right now. They still need interior defensive line help. We're going to get to that here in a second. And then what did we do first? I can't even remember. It was Anton. Okay. So we've hit the 3 big needs. Top 3 needs for the Chiefs are taken care of. We have at the very least, developmental guys that you hope can come in and start to contribute by the end of their rookie seasons. That I think we're in good shape for. Now, that said, the other place that is very, very thin, dramatically more so, I'm disappointed that Colin Saunders went elsewhere.
Yeah.
You guys know that I like Ajomo. I've been on
Ajomo.
Do you? Okay. I've been on him quite a bit here, folks, and you're going to see, in fact, I don't have the right laptop. Ajomo's going to surprise you when you see the Matrix. He's more athletic testing compared to this class and last year's class than he appears.
The problem is, I think the Chiefs need a defensive tackle, like a nose tackle.
Right.
And I don't think Ajomo is that. I like what he brings, but he's a slicer, a dicer, pass rusher, upside kind of guy.
But his teammate is.
But his teammate absolutely is. That's why they played so well together. They are exact opposites. Coburn is you take on a double and let Ajomo just destroy everybody else up the field. Like that's what they did. So it's tough.
Now what's cool here in the 4th is we have 4 picks here in the next 15. Yeah. So we can do what we want. I couldn't care less about what PFF says the grade is when this is done. Yeah, we can take who we want. And so that's where we got to look. So let's look at the interior group itself.
Okay.
And we will also look at a couple other groups. Don't worry, folks. We're not pigeonholing. You guys are still going to make this call. There's Morrow. I do like Kobe Turner. I don't have him as as a top 100 player. Coburn is about right for me. I have him, I think, almost 100. Jonah Tavai is a really interesting guy, but he's a pass rush only, undersized D end. There's not a lot of pluggers here, and knowing that we need a nose.
Yeah, you might have to just take the guy.
Might have to. Do we take them both? That's my question.
We might end up. I mean, it's not going to be up to us.
It may. So, okay, first thing here, Siaki is long gone before this pick. Yeah. Quite frankly, Siaki is going to go higher than he should. He should be somewhere on round 3, in my opinion. Dan likes him more than I do, but I think he's got a shot to go in the 1st, and I think that's crazy.
I agree. He should not be a 1st round draft pick. I think I have a 2nd round grade on him. Like I said, I have 1 1st round defensive tackle grade that's a 1st round pick. It's Jalen Carter. That's who it is. Everybody else is like a 2nd. Bresee and Ika are both top 2nd round picks for me.
Okay. Cordarius, I'm glad you brought him up. I do like KJ as well. We're going to look at the other positions here. I have all
of them selected.
I don't even know how I did that. That was great. Okay, so I got to bring this up too, because this starts to get to the point here of where we want to do this. And
pay attention.
Right? I like all 3 of these guys right here.
Yes.
Dan's partially Schoonmaker, and I don't blame you a bit. I actually prefer him over the other 2 as well. Then it comes down to Allen, and I have to tell you, When I watch Allen run routes, look, what did he get? Targets. He was only 51 targets last season. He's not a mainstay of his offense.
Yeah.
But in fact, I'm going to change this just for a second. When I look at him, I see things that remind me of one young Travis Kelce before he was so able to pivot and accelerate, right? Travis had to learn to run his routes the way that he runs them now, right? Allen reminds me of a young Travis, like a Cincy Travis. I don't even mean in the pros. And like, he's just smooth in his movements enough to get away with everything. And I really do like him. I'm not saying we have to pick him, folks, but these three, like Mallory's okay. I do think Leitu is criminally underrated here because he just moves the ball. He's not flashy. He's not overly explosive. He just moves the ball for his offense. And I think he's a quarterback's best friend. I do think he can serve that role. But these three are the three that you want to get if you're going to get tight end depth. So we have 2 interior defensive linemen. We have tight end options here. We did the wide receiver thing. I think we're okay there for a bit. My guy Kenny, I know went, because if he didn't, I'd be flipping. I'd be going crazy. Oh, he didn't. Okay, so we have 4 picks here in the 4th round. I mean, there are crazier things than Kenny McIntosh in the 4th round. That I don't know. What do you think, Dan?
I can't really get over his testing numbers.
No? Okay.
Like he looks faster on tape, but like he ran a 4.6. It's not great for him. His burst wasn't, his 10-yard split wasn't great either. He didn't test his short area stuff.
Yeah, I'm waiting on that.
Yeah,
he didn't run it at the pro day either, at least not that I saw. I haven't seen the results in full yet.
And that's not good for him, in my opinion.
Yeah,
that's not a good sign.
Fair enough. You're tempering my enthusiasm, and I don't like it.
And you see, I didn't want to because I was high on Kenny. I thought he was going to be a 3rd-round pick. Yeah. He's probably not going until 5-6 right now.
Then we get to the depth. Isaiah McGuire is a solid pick here. I think he and KJ are actually a lot closer on my board than this 117 and 131 that they seem to be going at. Yasir Abdullah is another low cost, I think more oriented towards a lighter speed rusher type guy. And my guy, Yaya, he is super intriguing to me. And this is why. Over the tackle, meaning playing the 5 tech, is where he lined up the most at Louisville. But then the second most is outside, which is kind of rare. And I know he can play inside. I really like him. And I think here on day 3 sometime we ought to look at him as well. But like, I'm going to get carried away because I would pick all defense if I could pick all defense.
I know.
So what else do we need to look at? Do we want to just see who's there for the corner group?
Oh, we should look.
We always need to. I mean, Jacorian's out here. He's the second fastest guy in
Riley
this class.
Moss. I think Riley Moss is a better player than anybody on the board. I like Riley Moss quite a bit, actually. I know people say he should be a safety in the NFL. He can play corner. And he has safety versatility, which we know the Chiefs love. I'm just saying.
That's fair. I won't argue with that. I think both Blackman and Garner have significant upside from what they've done to this point in their careers. So I just want to point those guys out too. I think Jay Ward has had a rough go, but I think he still might be able to contribute to a roster.
I like Rajon Wright too.
Yeah. Okay. What else here? Sorry, folks. I know we're bogging down. We'll get cut in here in a minute. This is what I do.
We have fun. We got to have fun.
Yes. So, okay. It looks like folks are happy with the Jomo. That's an idea. What's the next pick? We'll go a Jomo just to make everybody happy, including me.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's fine. We got 7 picks till our next one. Bada boom. Comes in. Where'd we go?
There we go.
Too much scrolling. Roshan went right after. I'm glad I brought him up. Voorhees did go. Riley, as you said, Dan, did go. There's Jaden Reed, and we're back on the clock. Not a lot for what we were talking about has changed. So do we want to – I'm not going to trade out anymore because there's no value to be had. We're not really gaining anything by trading back any longer. Day 3 for me is trade ups. If there's somebody you have on your board that you think you need to go get, that's what I would do. The tight end class is deep, James. I agree. And maybe that's what we need to go back and look at here. Is this the time? Is it depth edge? You do think it is the time?
With 2 picks back to back, this is a time to get tight end because
and all 3 are here.
Yeah.
I can live with any of them here if I have to. clearly Schoonamaker's the highest rated on this board. And he's the highest rated on my board too.
Mm-hmm.
If we waited too much longer, I don't think he'll be there. So that would probably be the way that I lean. So in the chat, do you want Schoon? Do you want, say, KJ Henry and at another developmental edge? Got one vote for Schoon. The Texas interior guy. Okay, Only Knives is going back to Coburn. Only Knives, good point. Remembering Coburn. I think we can take Coburn with the next pick because we got back-to-backs here, so we can do two. Got to vote for Kuntz. Okay, I like it. I like
Schoon. We got some more Schoons over here.
There, okay, a lot of Lukes. Okay, I think right now, and I like where you guys are going with Kuntz too. I think he's going to be there a while later, and so in the real scenario, when the Chiefs get here, 5th round, I think is where Kuntz belongs, and I think they might have a shot to take him there. So you guys are talking about Schoon. Okay, so Schoon's in. By majority, Schoon's in. So next up, do we go back to Coburn, put a big body in the middle? Do we go back to edge and maybe look at KJ Henry, who I think we all like? Do we want to add some speed with Jacorian? I think he's done returns as well. I have to double check that. But that is a tiebreak for me too. Like if he can add that kind of juice, that's important. But he does play out wide. He does have the speed. We're getting votes for Coburn on the nose. Coburn, okay. I can get down with that. We are pretty thin here on the defensive front. So I can get down with all that. I do want to come back for my guy Yaya later, though.
Yeah, for sure.
So I want to spend one of those, like maybe 177. I'm hoping he's still there. Maybe 167. We're going to have to do it. All right, but let's take what we can take now. We'll take Coburn. We're going to add to that depth. And Coburn is not. He's not Colin Saunders. I'm sorry, folks. He's just not. But he does have more pressure ability than it looks like he should. He actually was right up there with Morrow in terms of production on pressure, and that's what's important. So we get him. We come back. Trey Palmer went right after. He was the sleeper guy that I liked too. Then came Hutchinson, who's falling down boards left and right. Travis Hodges Tomlinson, Brandon Joseph. I want to like Brandon Joseph. I just haven't seen, I see him on film making plays. There's just not enough of them. And then everything since the season has just not reinforced me for him.
Yeah, I get it.
Isaiah McGuire is still there. You guys are right. That's another option out on the edge. He and KJ Henry, I think, are both developmental aspects there. Have we done enough for the offense?
That's what I'm thinking about, going back to wide receiver here or running back.
I mean,
he's still there. He's going to be there for a long time. He's going to be there a long time.
He might. I don't think that's true in reality, by the way, folks, but
I think it might be. I think he may have sunk a lot of his value with his combine performance.
Okay.
Which does happen. I mean,
it does. Okay, so let's go back to wide receiver, you said? Okay. Mingo's interesting, but again, he's also 5'10", right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, that's one thing they have left off of this. Oh, look, I can do that. Oh, no, he's listed 6'2", 220. So he's at least 6 foot then.
Yeah, he is. And he's I haven't seen a ton of his film. I haven't been wholly impressed with his route running from what I have seen. Again, we were at the Senior Bowl. I didn't see a ton from him being used differently there. It felt like he wasn't separating enough for me. But again, big body. Ole Miss is a unique system. We'll just say that with the way that they use their players. I know that there's Wick's favorites out there. I'm impartial to Yosivas. I like him a lot, but he's going to be available probably way down the board.
I think he went, actually.
Oh, you think so?
I thought so. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Went at 121. Now, where's my guy? Here's my backup guy. He's going to be in here. I feel it. I can feel it. He is. Warren McClendon is criminally underrated right now.
Yeah.
Warren McClendon is a 5th round or better backup tackle. And right now, nobody's giving him any credit. It's because he plays opposite Broderick Jones. He's got better film than people give him credit for. And I think he still has a ways to go. He's nowhere near developed, but I think he can get there. So for another depth tackle, Scott, that's what I'm seeing there.
Yeah,
Not that it has to be done now. Have you seen Cropper? That was my question.
I have not. I have no Fresno State film. I got none.
Okay.
So
I saw
see.
2 live, and I was able to take some notes on him. And I do like what he has, but I just haven't been able to corroborate it either because I haven't gotten any Fresno film yet.
Yeah.
Either. So I don't know. It is what it is. Landers. Somebody had a question about Landers.
I like Landers.
Do you? Okay. I haven't watched him yet.
He's a pretty decent. I'll say he's still got some things to learn, but he can fly, and I think that he's like an MVS type of player, but he's got more wiggle to his game.
Does he? Okay. I like wiggle
and understand. Like I think he's pretty decent, pretty good at understanding defensive coverage too. Like you leave him 1-on-1, good luck. Good luck.
I especially like wiggle at 6'5".
Yeah,
which means he's probably 6'3.5". So
yeah, that's something like that.
I'm sorry, folks. The other laptop ran out of juice. It's charging, and that has all the matrix data on it. But again, use the code RGR23, and you can get that discount on the Athletic Matrix that came out today. And we'll go over that probably a little bit tomorrow, and we'll show you some examples so you get a preview of it. I'm not going fullback yet, Cordarius, and I appreciate you bringing it up, though. Thank you.
Yeah.
Greg, I have some problems with Wheaton is my only problem. Seems like there's just a couple folks that like Wheaton. He certainly is an athlete. I'm just not sure he's a wide receiver.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't know if he can play wide receiver in the NFL. Like, is he going to be a really nice returner? Can he, like, be a gadget guy? Okay. Can he play wide receiver? I don't think so.
That's the problem. That's where it all lies. And I don't even know if there's any actual fullbacks listed in this mock draft. So
yeah.
There's the kid from North Dakota State that I like. That was thanks to Avery, who's probably in the chat. And by the way, thank you. I don't know if it's FLDB or if Aaron made the chat, but thank you for monitoring the chat, folks. Unless that was you, Dan.
It was me.
Okay, rock and roll. Then you're the man. Elijah Higgins. I'm glad somebody brought him up. And if we hadn't already gone Scoon, I would say look at Elijah Higgins because I think he should make the transition to tight end.
I think he's going to make the transition to tight end from everything that I've heard about him and how people saw him at the Senior Bowl. I think that's what his next step will be.
Okay, good. I think we're all on the same page there then. All right. So after all this, I've lost track of what we're actually coming down to. What is our AB here, Dan?
I think we're going to go probably wide receiver or developmental defensive end.
Okay.
Probably best here.
Let's be homers tonight. So we'll make that defensive end Isaiah McGuire if we go end. And then who is our option at wide receiver?
I like Raheem Jarrett the best out of the guys here, but you guys seem to think Wicks or Mingo. So let's go. Why don't we go size and get Mingo up there with McGuire? Okay.
James, thank you for that. You're right, and that's the kid I was thinking of. I just didn't see him on the list. Sorry. We can go back to that. But right now, let's take it down to this. Isaiah McGuire from Mizzou, the developmental edge, or are we going Mingo? Is that what it is?
Yeah. We're going
Mingo, 6'3" plus somewhere. Big X with a little bit of wiggle, Dan says. I fully admit I have done very little film work on receivers this year. Dan is handling the vast majority of it because Dan knows receivers. I
do know receivers.
I just catch the damn ball. That's all I care about. Okay, we got to vote for Mingo. We got a couple of McGuires. We got a Mizzou vote. Way to go, Mo. I like that.
Take the damn Mizzou player.
Right. And honestly, again, in feeding and building up the defensive front, we really can't go wrong. So I think that's a viable option. Jeremy agrees Mizzou. Got a Mingo and a wide receiver here. McGuire, another Mingo. Okay, we're about even. Keep voting, folks.
Everybody we're gonna get some more.
And while you're doing it, throw a like on this if you would. And if you want to get some of the gear, we got the Mahomes logo. We got the Rogue Nation stuff that you can get from Dan. If I can solo him, evidently I can't because I'm terrible at this tonight. Sorry, I've been a little bit out of it, but you guys can help us out that way. More Mingo, another Mizzou. Another Mingo, another Mizzou. You guys are 1 for 1. Somebody's got to break out. Miss Holly, give me a vote. I haven't seen you yet. Mingo, Edge, McGuire. Okay. McGuire's pulling ahead, I think. Mizzou all day, says James. Okay. Did you guys like the K-State Mahomes play?
All right. So I think it's going to be McGuire.
Yes, it's going to be Isaiah. And so we're going to get out of that. And we're going to go Isaiah McGuire from K-State. Sorry, from Mizzou. Felix. So now we have 2 Big 12 edge rushers, one from Mizzou and one from K-State because we took Felix up top. Now we're back on the board here at 167. Leitu did go. Ali Gay was another guy that I had on my board as a possibility late. Jackson Kirkland goes as an interior guy. I think he's a player that's got it. And there's Warren. Okay, so Warren went, dang, that's where I was going to go back to. Okay, so now we are here, and we're talking about Kuntz as another tight end. Allen. There's Yaya. There's Jacorian still, the speed burner. And then we have to get to, who's the guy that I was forgetting that I wanted to come back to? Oh, yeah, another Bulldog. Did he go? Oh, did he go? Kenny went.
Apparently Kenny went.
Wow. Okay. Didn't see that coming. Yep, Kenny went at 148. Okay. So both my day 3 Bulldogs went. Oh, I'm depressed now. It's okay. We're going to be all right.
Look, Eric Gray's right there.
He is right there. Yes. And he can stay there as far as I'm concerned. No, that's fine.
Damn.
No, that's okay. I mean, solid back, right? I just don't.
I think he's
the number
more than
that bugs
solid
me
personally, but
okay. I mean, it is the Big 12.
I like his vision.
Okay. Didn't he come in at like 5'9" and a third though? Or
I don't remember exactly, but he was a little short. Yeah,
it's pretty small, like under my threshold. But anyway, that's just me. Okay, so what's standing out to you, folks? I got a Jose, I got Jacorian Bennett here, another Eric Gray, Yaya.
We've already got 2 defensive ends, so it's probably not going to be Yaya.
Yaya can play 3 tech. We're taking Yaya. There's no way around it. It's just whether we do it now or whether we do it next.
Well, who do they got at wide receiver? Let's see the wideouts.
Okay, let's take a look. All right. Bryce Ford, your boy Bell. I like Bobo.
Bobo is a great big slot, but I don't think he plays on the outside in the NFL.
No, he might not be able to. I mean, it feels like he should be able to.
He should, but the dude can't separate on the outside. He's going to be a big slot. I just can't. I can't see any other path to him in the NFL, but we'll see.
Okay. Landers still there. I got a soft spot for Puka Nacua.
I love Puka.
He's just small. And we're in the same situation with Kadarius and Sky and everybody else that we've talked about tonight.
I think he's like 6'1". Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe I'm wrong. I thought he was well under that. He's listed 6'2". So yeah, he's probably 6 foot. Hold on. Here, you talk to the people. I will go check.
Oh, okay. I was already pulling it up, but okay. So we do have the measurements here on Puka. He did come in at 6'1". I was right. 6'1", 206.
Okay.
So he's got the size you're looking for, at least on someone who can play slot Z and X receiver. And again, I've done all of his film. I've watched pretty much every single BYU game that I have. He's not going to be the flash guy. Obviously, that's why he's going on day 3. But he's very reliable. He can make some crazy catches randomly, just kind of scattered throughout his tape. He has got a lot of like highlight splash plays that I like to see from him. Going to be a consistently good blocker in terms of what he's asked to do. Probably going to have some problems getting off of real true press in the NFL, but how often do they play true press anymore? Seems to play 70% zone most of the time anyway.
That is something to consider. What do you think of my guy Tinsley? He's kind of my
I like Tinsley. Sleeper. I loved him at Western Kentucky.
Yeah.
He was better than your guy Jareth Stearns, who again,
shut up. He was not.
Yes, he was.
He was just faster, bigger, and stronger. Oh wait, son of a bitch. He's literally the last guy on the wide receiver board, folks. We do like him. Only Knives is saying Bennett. Bennett who? Please tell me you're not talking about the quarterback. please. Okay, Jacorian. Okay. Started to panic there. All right. Okay, so let's make Jacorian one of it. Daryl, thank you for pointing that out. If you guys would hit the thumbs up, we would really appreciate it. I know there's a few hundred of us in here. Let's talk about that. Let's get Jacorian as option A. And let's say, I don't know, if I had to take a late, like a Pacheco style 6th, 7th rounder. I'm probably leaning towards the guy with the ultimate matrix, which number 1 is going to be Keaton.
Yeah, I get it.
He's way up there.
Isn't he like 5'8"?
He is 5'7". Yeah,
he's even shorter. Yeah. He's even shorter. I'm sorry, he's off my board.
But I will say this: I have a soft spot for the Northwestern guys this year. I like
Hull. Evan Hull.
Okay, so let's make it this. We won't go Gray. We won't go Keaton. We'll make it Hull or we'll make it Jakorian. You guys vote. Looks like first vote is Jakorian. Pretty easy.
Yeah, it's probably Jakorian. I don't even know if many of these guys know about Evan Hull.
Evan Hull is this scrappy little dude. When you go back and watch the combine, he's the guy who finished every play to the end zone just to make a point. And I like that kind of thing. He needs to find a way to make himself stand out, and I think he does it. The big thing for me is he can pass protect, and he's a great catcher. That's the big thing. He's not going to be a ramrod and like take over like power snaps from Pacheco. That's for sure.
He ran faster than I expected him to at the combine too. So
he did.
We'll see if that translates.
He's number 4 in the matrix.
I don't think that's on tape. Myself.
Agreed.
But I think he reminds me more of a Boston Scott type of player in the NFL. Like,
fair enough.
More of a complement to an offense. He's never going to be a big take the lead kind of thing, but can give you some really productive snaps when called upon. It looks like Jakorian is the pick, by the way. There's just tons of Jakorian. So,
but 192 or 2003, you bring up my next guy after McClendon. It is Wanya Morris. They're the other guys that play opposite. So let's go get Jakorian. We'll go UDFA for the running back. That's what.
Yeah, that's fine.
So now comes down to Yaya. Yaya's one of our options.
Just do it. Just take him off the board.
No, because I don't want to take over. This is the fans' vote. But he is one of the options. And Bostic's out there. It looks like Wanya
looks like he's gone.
Wow, I did not expect that either. Good for Mr. Morris. I like it. Okay. That said, I would take a flyer on Sal DeVary, and I would take a flyer on Earl Bostic. And that's not just because I'm a Jayhawk. He actually did pretty well.
Kind of is because he's a Jayhawk.
Do you have a draftable grade on him?
I haven't seen him, I'll be honest with you.
Then stop. Come on.
I can't. This is my job.
It is. Your job is to give me crap. Okay, I like it. Okay, so Yaya is one of the options. Man, I can't believe Davis Allen is still here. That's crazy. Okay, Keaton Mitchell was there. He was the home run hitter we were talking about.
I think Kuntz's being here is even more ridiculous, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah, there it is. but seriously, take a look at Kuntz, though.
I know.
144 yards he produced this season.
But teams won't matter. Tight end landscape is so devoid of talent. They're going to see his numbers and be like, "Yeah, we're going to take this guy."
I know. I know. I'm just struggling with it. Tavai's out there. He's interesting. There's Eric Gray. Let's see. There is Stetson Bennett. No, I don't.
Okay.
I'm not a fan.
I wasn't a fan.
Really? Okay.
Until
wait,
I watched. Oh, you just knocked me out.
I'm about to.
I wasn't a fan of Stetson Bennett until I watched him meet a little more closely. Better athlete than I expected. He's got more arm strength than I expected. He's small, but I think he's going to be a pretty decent backup quarterback in the NFL. He's not going to be a starter. I kind of like him as a end-around player. I really do.
Fine. I'm going to say it this way because this is the guy that I think could be a good backup.
I like Clayton Tune as well.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So Wanya, not an option. Clayton is. Stetson. I just have trouble with Stetson.
I know you do.
I mean, there is plenty. This is the right area, folks. This is why we talk about late round running backs, because this is the time to take them, because there's a lot of interesting dudes here. There's Gray. There's Keaton. There's who else was down here? I just saw another name that I liked. Dang it, where'd it go? There's Lonnie Phelps, Rock Chalk. Where'd he go? There's Chris Rodriguez. This is the spot to go take a running back if we want one. Is that what you guys want to do? Is it Yaya here and we roll the dice on a running back, or is it running back and then we roll the dice on Yaya?
Take Yaya and roll the dice on a running back. Let's do it.
Okay. Everybody good with that? And no, Ocean, I am not a fan of Badgett.
You don't like Bagent?
Not over Tune, that's for certain.
Okay.
Kuntz. Okay, we already got a tight. I cannot take a 2 tight end draft. I got to tell you guys. I draw the line. I'm taking Yaya unless you guys tell me not to.
I heard one. I see one no.
I see one no. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes.
See a couple
yes. I like this. I'm just gonna be Tommy 2 times. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Running back. Yeah, I do like Rodriguez as well. Okay. Yeah.
I'm not a fan of him, but
yeah seems to be winning. Okay. We're gonna get him, and we're gonna see which running back's available at 216. I'll bet you we're gonna have some options that we can live with.
More than likely. I'm not a Rodriguez guy, but that's just me.
I mean, as a 7th rounder, he went. Anyway.
He just went. Yeah, I was about to say he just went. So
Clayton Tune is now the best on the board. Just putting it out there, folks.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, so we have
Ibrahim. Mo. I like Mo.
We have our fullback of the future.
Tavion Thomas.
We have Travis Dye as well.
Okay.
There's our guy Hull. There is
Hull. Lou Nichols from Central Michigan.
Yeah,
is very good.
He's not in here, is he?
He's right there. He's right there.
Oh, look. Oh, I was looking for LOU.
I don't know if he declared or not. I can't be certain. I am a big Lou Nichols fan. I went back when I was watching Luke Gadecki last year. Okay. I was scouting Luke Gadecki. This dude continued to flash every time I watched Central Michigan. So that's somebody I want more tape on, but I don't have any from this year. So that's frustrating to me.
Fair enough. Would you take him over Hull?
I would. I think he has more upside. I think he's bigger too.
Okay. I don't think we have to draft the fullback, folks. And you know I love him. Well, we don't have to. Okay. So, all right. So Dan says Lou Nichols over Evan Hull. I have a hard time with that, but it's Dan's show tonight.
It's not my show. It's your guys' show.
I just handed it to you. I'm blaming you for everything now.
Damn it.
D Winters is a guy that I actually like. Like, he reminds me of somebody that could blossom once he gets to the league. Elijah Higgins is still here. Any interior offensive line? Good question, Doug. Let's look. I don't think so. I lied. The Chiefs like Anthony Bradford. I know they do. I absolutely know that they do, and I know that he could probably, in a pinch, even play tackle.
Interesting.
City's out there too. Some people like City a lot. Okay, so Anthony Bradford's an option. He's one of our A's. He's A or B. What should be the next one, Dan?
Tune.
Okay, backup quarterback or interior offensive lineman. This is sexy as hell, this decision.
This is the best decision ever.
All right, you guys. Clayton Tune, backup quarterback, or Anthony Bradford, interior offensive lineman that could maybe move outside if he had to. LSU prodigy, et cetera, et cetera. I got a Bradford. There's Bennett there, but yes, we're not going Stetson Bennett. We're putting the kibosh in that. We got a couple of Tunes. We got a Higgins. I like the way you're thinking, but we did go tight end already. So
we already did.
There. Tune. The Chiefs probably will. You're right, Michael. The Chiefs will probably prefer Bradford. In the meantime, I'm going to answer another question or two. Since we lost on Tunsil, does it mean we have to take OT with our first pick? No, it doesn't. They don't have to. And like we found out here, that's the way it worked out. Doesn't mean they have to. Hey, Sean. I have not gotten to my PO box yet. They're actually remodeling, and they had some trouble last week. I will check here this week and let you know, buddy. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you for sending it. Thank you. Let's see. Doesn't look like the Chiefs are signing wide receiver unless they get pray Tony stays healthy. Yes, I mean it ain't over till it's over. Till everybody's got. I don't know what we're trumping, but everybody trumps right now. MVS. I think he's the forgotten guy that everybody seems to have forgotten about. Every draft pick is trumping him right now. And I'm just not sure that I agree with that. I know he didn't do enough till late. Looks like we lost Dan. I'm sorry for that, you guys. But I do feel like he did contribute. And so I don't know that we have 1,000 rookies that can walk in and beat him out. You know what I mean? That's kind of where I'm coming from. Okay, good. We're back. Considering moves this weekend through the NFL, do you expect Chasey to heavily pursue OBJ, or do you think a trade for D-Hop is more likely? I think OBJ is much, much, much more likely until D-Hop gets released, and I think it's a toss-up. The fact that Odell's coming out and saying, hey, y'all are only offering me $4 million. That ain't enough. I know the Chiefs are one of those teams that probably said $4 million. So can they get to 6? Can we be comfortable with 6? Would he take it? I don't know. That feels like it's more likely to me.
I'm with you. I think that he's probably at the stage in his career where he's like, okay, I want more Super Bowls. Okay. And I think that he's comfortable taking less than that, but we'll see.
All right. Last question or last two. How many defensive picks do we have in this draft? We've taken quite a few. We're gonna round it out here with somebody on offense, but we've done pretty well, I think. Heard the Giants are looking at McCall. Okay, got that one too. Okay, so we got all your big questions. Yes, Doug, draft guide is what we'll work on next. We're still going to be crunching film well up until April as we go through, get everything graded. Jeff is helping me out. We've got the production stats started. We're doing pretty well there. So all 3 of those things come in to form the triangle that is the draft guide. And it is definitely next. I start on that tomorrow. I finished the matrix today. I start on that tomorrow. And then as soon as the draft guide's out, then I go back and I update the matrix with all the pro day information so we get the latest info. I just don't sit around for that month while all the pro days are going on. I like to get it out so people can get a look at it. So I do like the idea of looking at Chark.
Yes.
I think Dan and I are both in on that. Okay, Dan is back. We just don't have his visual, but we can hear him. That's okay.
I don't know what's going on.
I got another vote for Bradford. Who are the spammers? I don't even know.
I got rid of it.
Oh, hey, thanks, buddy. Okay. Okay, looks like Bradford is it. So, unless anybody has a last-minute option, we're going to go Bradford, and we're going to round this out. And that's going to fill in some of the gap. I know they got Allegretti back. I was a little happily surprised about that. Didn't really expect it, but I'm glad that they did. So we're going to put Bradford on this roster. We're going to review and see how we did. Don't worry about the grading here. This is just whether you picked a number bigger or lower than what PFF said you should do. So don't worry about it. It ain't nothing but a thing. Let's see. So that was our trade. We got up to 20. Didn't work out because the tackles are going before 12 now. It's driving me nuts. I don't know if that's real or not. We'll get there. We traded back after taking Anton Harrison. We get Felix. We come back with A.T. Perry. We trade again. We end up with another mid-round pick that I really like that cluster that we were able to get. We get Moro Jomo. We get Luke Schoonemaker. We get Jomo's partner in crime, Keanu Crowburn, he can man the 3-man front. He can play in the 4. He can do it all. You get Isaiah McGuire to come off the edge later, maybe year 2, maybe year 3. You come back with Bennett. You got speed. You got return ability. We come back with Yaya, who in 2 seasons might be a guy that could start opposite Karlaftis. I don't know. Menahue, we'll see what the contract breaks down to, but hey, I like Yaya's upside. And then we finish with Bradford just to never come up short of offensive linemen. That's what it all comes down to. And in the end, I feel pretty good about this. So I'm really glad we got Nick back. Is that what this? Oh, I love this draft. Well, I'm glad you're happy, Dirty. That's awesome. Really glad that we got Nicka back. Yeah, and I do like Tranquil. I do like the concept of them playing on the field together as well. Let's see. Curtis said, as you say, MVS has a lot of ability to show drops. No offense to him, but he can't be yard. I agree with you there. He's not a wide receiver 1, but there's not a lot of draft picks that are going to walk in and boot him off the roster. You know what I mean? I do think that the Chiefs do need an actual number 1. FLDB must be in the house. Cheers to you, my friend. I appreciate it. If you guys become a member at the rookie level or above, you get in the Discord for free. You can time that together, but just hit the join button below us right here tonight, and you can get in there. Like, sub, and hit the bell right now. So overall, we did really well late. PFF didn't really like our trades. I don't care. We did the best that we could at the positions of need that were available to us, and I do feel pretty good about that. How do you guys feel? That's going to be the question. We are at the hour mark. Thank you, Doug. I appreciate you guys. This is really what it comes down to. If you're watching on rewatch, leave a comment. Let us know what you think of the haul we got here. But in the end, we address a lot of the defensive line, not quite the makeover that the offensive line got. We add a couple of weapons on offense in Perry and Schoonemaker. We get a little bit of speed with Ja'Cory Bennett. Maybe a little bit of return ability. We like that as well. So I think overall, we've addressed the issues, and we've got guys that don't necessarily have to start tomorrow, but do have the potential to start down the line. So I'm pretty happy with that. And I know, Dan, you're struggling. We're going to call it a night now anyway,
Yeah,
buddy.
I mean, my camera decided to stop working, so
yeah,
isn't up.
yeah, it's going to be fun. Michael, thank you for being here. We appreciate you. And I hope that it helps as we kind of roll through this rambling process. But cheers to you, and cheers to you, Doug. Thank you, Miss Holly, Sugary, Kyle, Only Knives, all you regulars. We very much appreciate you. And Dirty, I agree with you. We're going to get back to it tomorrow. Tomorrow's Q&A, like always. We're going to answer your questions, whether it's about these prospects or about whatever happens with the Chiefs tomorrow, and how we think it's all going to fit together. So I hope you guys have a great night. Thanks for spending your time with us tonight. We'll talk to you then.